Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new day. I've been silent for a bit because I was busy working on PS2K and the new PS2K Counter Trend Hunter is ready to go. Been doing a whole bunch of testings. Let me just go over the settings real quickly. It's much more simpler to understand and to work with, but very, very effective. So first, to start with, you got this little panel right here. You have your buy now button, your sell now button, close profitable trades, close losing trades, and close all trades. Now, especially the buy now and sell now are very important buttons, and we'll go over that later. But all the buttons here are now functional, so they should work just fine. Now, let's go over the settings real quick. Let me bring up settings that I was using for EU. Okay, so these are the settings. In the trade settings, you only have two sets of lot size settings. You know, your main lot size, which is your lot 1 counter trend, and then your trade assist lot size, which is the second one. And now you can keep them at the same size. I like to keep it the same size anyway. You can do whatever you feel is necessary to meet your goals. Okay. Then you have obviously your take profit 1 for a main trade. I set that really high, and I'll be talking about that. Then you have your TP2 partial. This is for your partials. And this is, you can either do this in terms of money or pips. I am doing it in terms of money, so I set it at the $1,000 because again, this was for EU that I was doing today, and I'll show how that works. Okay, and then your partials percentage, I put it at 80%, meaning that, you know, once you get to 1,000, I wanted to take off 80% and keep the 20% running, right? Now, whether you want that to work or not, you can either choose to make it false or true. So if you click here, you can select true. If you double click and select false, right? If you set it to false, this means once it gets to 1,000, it's going to close everything and take 100%. If you want it to close 80% and keep 20 running, then you got to change this to true. Now, I had it set to false, and I will show why. Okay. Then you have your, this one is your TA level. And again, this can be in terms of money or pips. And this one, basically what you're doing is you're setting the distance from your lead trade until your trade assist kicks in, or your hammer time, really, is what I should call it. So until your hammer time kicks in, okay, which is your hammer time trade assist, right? Okay, and then this one is the basically your hammer time count. How many hammer times do you want? I have this set at 45. You can set it to whatever you want, but you know, I've done quite a few testings with this, and for this particular setting, this one works. Okay, then you come down to your risk management area. You have your stop loss. I have it set to 100, which is quite large, but it doesn't really matter. But you know, 100 break-even points. You know, your level is 150, and then your entries at 100. These don't matter, so I put them really high. Now we're actually using the trailing stop loss. I have it set at 30 in this case. And your step at 2. So meaning initially it's set at 30, but every time you move 2 pips up, it's gonna move, but keep the spacing at 30. Okay. Losses in a row 4. So if you have 4 losses in a row, it's going to delay by 3,600 settings, which is basically 1 hour. Okay. You can reset it if you want, but that's what it's set to. Equity level is set to 1,000. You can set that to whatever you want based on what you're doing, or if you're running a challenge, you can set it to whatever threshold works for you in that challenge. Trade max time is set to 12 hours, meaning if a trade is running for 12 hours, the software will automatically close it. If you want, you can increase it or decrease it. And again, this one is based in minutes. As you can see right here, it says trade max time minutes, okay? Quality control, QC regulator. It is set to 80 and 20 for the buy and sell. You can leave it at that, do not change that. And the QCMA period is 14, just leave it at 14. So do not touch these, just leave it the way it is, okay? In this particular case, candles. On the bull side, I have it set to 1, meaning going upwards. And the bear side, going downwards, I'd set it to 1 as well. I'll explain this a little bit later, but you can leave it at 1. And then your candle close MA is set at 50. And basically what this means is if your trade that you were in retracts and comes down and goes all the way until it hits the blue, which is your 50, it's going to close that trade in order to minimize your losses. And that's what that 50 is. You can change it. You can set it to whatever other level you want, either the 50, 34, 21, 15, or 10. It's up to you what level you want to set it at. But 50 works well for me. Okay. MA distance in pips, I have it set at 2, meaning trades are not going to kick in when the software is running until there's a separation of 2 pips on average between your lines. Okay, so you can set it to whatever you want. I have it set at 2, and that works well with these settings right here. Or unless you click the buy now or sell now, then this MA distance wouldn't matter because you're kind of subverting it by doing the buy now, sell now. Okay. Then RSI on the buy side is 85, on the sell side is 15. Leave it at that. Don't worry about it. It's really not going to affect the trades that much. Trade tags, these are basically the labels for your trade. When you have trades and you look in the comments, you will see these tags. Okay. Days of trade, all 5 days are true except for weekends, of course. And then these are the times that you want to trade, right? You can set the times here. You can just put 0 to 24 if you just wanted to trade 24/5, but I have it set to 8/11, 13 to 17. Basically, these are between the London time and New York session, okay? Based on where I'm at and how the time applies. So set yours accordingly. This is where you can set your hammer time to be dictated by either pips or money. So right now I have it set to money. You can change that and just put pips if you want. Double click there, put pips, and it'll basically go to pips. So these are the settings in a nutshell. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. They'll make more sense to you as you start to use the software. Okay. Now, man, this this counter trend hunter is really, really powerful. Okay. Is a test I just did recently just to show you, right? So let me go ahead and close this. So I ran a test. Let me go to the this is the graph right here. So this is the test I ran, and you can see it started, boom, boom. Now, if we look at the settings, let's go to input right here. I have the partial set to 3,000, and I have the TP2 true or false set to false, meaning when it hits 3,000, it's going to close the whole thing and wait for the next trade session, right? So what that means is every time you see this right here is 3,000. 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 3,000. 3,000. So every time you see that, it's 3,000. And the way that works is, if we look at the test chart, Let me go ahead and see if I can bring that up. Why is it not coming up? 1 second here. Minimize this. Okay, so this is the chart from the test. Okay, so what happens is, and this works with the counter trend crossover, right? So you had a trend here as well, a small trend, and now it's crossing over. Your mass network is switching over, and so boom, it kicks in, right? So this is your leading trade. Once you get to a comfortable level, your hammer time kicks in. It kicks in, and then it closed down here. Once it reached the 3,000, boom, it closed all the trades, right? And now it waits for the next crossover, right? So that's how it works. That's how it works. So, and sometimes it's going to miss crossovers because of slippage, or the candles are maybe too small to be considered, things like that, right? So it's not, and then also this could have been Asia time, right, which we are not trading. So there are a lot of factors why it could miss. So again, here you had a slight crossover, trade kicked in, but then it reversed. So this was drawdown, but because this is your leading trade, your hammer time has not kicked in yet. The drawdown wasn't that big, and then once it came back down and reached that level, hammer time kicked in, boom, went down, closed here again for 3,000, right? Versus if you just close 80% and let 20 running, and now it reverses on you, now you have a loss because it hits the blue line, and now you have a loss, right? So I just like to close all of it and take my money and run, wait for the next session, right? But it's up to you how you choose to do it. Now, in this case, you had a turnover right here, trade kicked in, closed here for 3,000, but it was still on the same level because the same candle. It opened another one, got to this level, kicked in some hammer times, but it did not have enough room to get to 3,000 and close, so it kind of reversed, and then when it hit the blue line, it closed to protect you from larger losses, right? Now, in the test, you cannot do a close all and close all trades during a test, right? But in reality, if this was you were trading on a live account and you saw this before it got all the way down here, once it gets here, or maybe it starts penetrating the yellow line, you could have hit close all trades, and close all trades at a loss, but a much lesser loss than would have gone all the way down here, okay? All right, let's look at okay, again, you had a crossover. This one kicked in, not enough room, reverse, same story like the other one, closed at the blue. But when this went down slightly, it kicked in your leading trade, reversed a little bit, did not close it, came back down, had enough room for the hammer time kicked in, a little bit of reversal, but then finally got down here to the 3,000 and closed, right? So over and over, that's what it does, right? So if we go back to the results, right, you can see right here, boom, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. So here reversal, right? So lost about 3,000. So lost this one right here, right? But then it continued again, boom, boom, boom. Now you can see virtually most of these had little to no drawdowns. A little bit of a drawdown here, a little bit of drawdown here, very little, pretty much no drawdown, very little, very little, very little, no drawdown, a little bit of a drawdown here, no drawdown, and then another loss right here, but then boom, 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 with just a little bit of drawdowns, right? Boom. Then you had 3 consecutive losses right here, came down a little bit, then you start going up again, a little bit of a drawdown, boom, 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 a little bit of loss, boom, boom again, right? So what were the results, right? Okay, if we look right here, this is a 200K account, right? 250K account. We can see drawdown was only 6.75, right? Now, if you want this to be less, then you reduce your lot size in the settings. You can reduce from 1 to maybe 0.5 or whatever makes you comfortable, okay? So 6.75, right? This was done over a period of 3 months, from January 1st to March 31st, okay? What was the result? You generated over $94,000, you lost $46,000, but your net profit was $48,000, almost $50K in 3 months, right? If we look right here at the percentage, 82% of your trades were successful, 17% were not, out of a total of 1,600 trades in total, right? Average profit was 68, average loss was 154, but only 17%, so you're going to be on top. Okay? So yeah, this thing is crazy. Let me show you some more tests so you can see how powerful this thing is. All right, let's bring in the test. All right, so this is the one we just looked at with a profit of 48,000. You can see that's the drawdown right here. I don't know if you can, let me, yeah, drawdown of 6.75%, profit of 48,000 that I showed you. This is the same chart. As you can see, the progression. Let's see, these are all the settings, and as you can see, this one was only for 3 months, from January to March. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, and these are all the settings like I showed you before that I included in the report. All right, let's go to the next report. This one was from January to March, just trying out different settings, and this one came out to 45,000 out of 70,000 with a 86% to 13%. So kind of like the same. This one was a mega test. This was done from 2019 January 1 all the way to May 31st of this year. So basically 3.5 years basically, right? These are the settings. As you can see, now you generated a lot of money, but you also lost a lot of money, and you made 20,000, right? Now what does this tell you? This one for a whole 3 years you made 20K. The other one was 3 months and you made 45K. What this tells you is you're better off being more active than passive, right? Because if you're passive and you just let it run without managing it, there's certain areas where you're going to have big dips, and if you're not paying attention, then your average is going to be much less, right? As you can see, for example, over here you had a big dip, right? Obviously when you see that, you're going to want to pause the software. Over here you also had a big dip. You're just going to let this keep going, and then over here you also had a big dip, right? So you want to manage those, right? The less of those you have, the better off you're going to be. But what this test illustrates is how robust the strategy is, running it without doing anything for 3+ years, and you're still in profit. Okay, so that's what this test was for me in terms of validating the counter trend hunter strategy, right? Here's another test. This was actually on, well, by the way, these were on USDCAD, as you can see right here. This one was in USDCAD. This one too was on USDCAD as well, if you can see right here. Okay, and this one as well, if you look at the top. But I also tested it on gold, and this right here was a test on gold from the whole year of 2022, right? From January 2022 to December of 2022. These were the settings for gold, and the results were monstrous. I mean, look at this. I think I posted this before, but okay. So 400,000 plus in profit, right? Only $92,000 loss, right? Drawdown was 24%, so a bit high, but again, considering that this account, remove that, considering that this account was $100,000 account right here, right? $100,000 account. Would you risk 24% to make over, what is that? 300%. I would. Okay. And as you can see, the chart here was very smooth, which was great. So again, those are the settings right there, validating all that. Okay. So next, let's see. All right, so next I'm gonna rerun the test for a little bit so you guys can see how it works. Minimize that, bring this up, okay, and yeah, let's go right here. All the settings are done. So what I'm gonna do is just rerun this. Okay. So start the test. And this is the chart. But I want to bring up the. All right. So you can see it running. Boom. Leading trade. Hammer time kicks in. 3,000 closes. Leading trade, because it was still continuation, it closes at 3,000, right? Let me pause it right here. So 250, right? You got 2 sessions of 3,000 plus, so profit about 6,500, right? All right, let's keep going. Okay, so now it's hunting, waiting for another crossover. Okay, this one didn't quite work. I guess the candles here were too small, or maybe it wasn't the New York or London time, maybe it was Asia time, right? All right, it's going. Okay. Now, let's say you are actively looking at the chart, and even though it's not necessarily your regular time to trade, but you see that opportunity and you want to take advantage of it, you come here and this is a bullish trend. So if you, for example, let's say you're here, you see the crossover, you can actually hit the buy now for the leading trade. Once it gets to the level, hammer time would kick in, because again, this is still activated by the software. Hammer time would kick in and boom, you would be in the money. So this is why those buttons are important. If it was the opposite way, then you would do a sell now. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Crossover, kicks in, hammer time, boom. Again, leading trade, hammer time, bit of a drawdown, but now it's probably gonna kick in. Boom. Another one, leading trade, because it's still crossing over, but I'm not sure if it's gonna make it. Let's see. Okay, more hammer time. Now this was kind of a big drop, probably had some news with that. Let's see if it closes. Boom. Now, let's say you get to this level and it starts reversing and it's not going in the direction that you want, but you don't want it to go all the way until it hits the, the 50 or the blue line. You can just do close all trades, and it will close them all, maybe for a smaller loss than having to go all the way here and protect your profits that you gained over here. So that's another very important button. Okay, let's keep going. As you can see now, we're at 16K profit. Started at 250, now it's 266, right? Kicks in, hammer time, right, on the crossover, boom, closes. So basically that's how it works. I'm gonna stop it right here. All right, so the trial is gonna be dropping soon. Keep in mind the trial only works for demo accounts. When you're comfortable and want to get the full version, then you can go ahead and do your purchase. But the trial is free, but only works on demo. Okay, peace.